I've been on the side of one like, I've been on the side of 100,000 likes. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I shot weddings too. I have to apologize for the weddings that I shot though. I shot
Yeah,
two.
we could talk about it. We could have some therapy sessions right now. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
I ruined someone's big day for sure. I think there was over 150 auditions between the two characters, two leads. And so going through those was hilarious and also amazing because acting is tough. Like acting is tough. Acting is a skill, and not everybody has that skill. Let's just say that. So for me, it's like just do more of that. You feel yourself comparing, create something. You feel yourself criticizing something, create something. Like the making, the action is the antidote. But the story has to come from you, and it has to come from living. It has to come from talking to people, from reading books. Like that, the experiencing life is the difficult part of becoming a writer.
But it was recording already.
No, I use
Sorry
the
about that.
Riverside too. So we're like, I'm always counting down other people. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait for the three.
yeah.
Give me
I
like,
was, I
give
was
me.
too excited. I was like, I thought I was recording this whole time. Imagine we went through this whole thing and I didn't record.
We do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
We'd be here for like 4 hours, which is fine with me. But
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
like,
sorry. Yeah, tell me about yesterday, today at Apple, and like that whole thing.
I mean, a friend and I started a collective called Craft and Release, which is a community for creatives across mediums to sharpen their skills and share their story. So we've been doing that for about like a year and a half now. Community has grown. We teach an array of workshops that span craft. So if you're a writer, if we're doing something with metalworking, with quilting, like coming up. So we formulated this workshop called Script to Screen, which is really to highlight the power of short form storytelling, how to write, how to shot list, and then execute on said shot list to bring it to life, 15 to 30 seconds. We had been teaching that just privately, digitally for the last like year. But then there's amazing people in the community. When you start something, you never know who's going to show up to your stuff. So some folks from Apple are in the community, or in the craft and release community. So shout out to Stephanie Stewart. She reached out and said like, "Hey, are you guys interested in doing this?" Connected us with Alicia, who's amazing, and we set up our first one at Apple Williamsburg yesterday. Was that yesterday?
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh,
this.
yes, that was like yeah, that was yesterday, which is crazy. And maxed out the RSVPs are over 450 people that signed up to the session. Probably about 200 people that actually showed up, and it was insane, Kev. Like, I'm sure, like, you know the feeling where you're like, okay, you start with a germ of an idea, and then it turns into something beyond you and above you, and I think that's what we want.
It's crazy, like planting that one little seed, and then like now you're like, oh, it's a full thing right now. It's a
Yes.
full thing. I don't know that feeling yet. I know the idea in terms of all my stuff is digital, and it's great. I love everyone who follows and all that stuff, but it must feel like something different, and it has a whole life of its own when you physically see people
Yes.
at these events, and you're like, oh, you're not like you're real right
Yes.
now, and I'm talking to you. So that's crazy. Like 250 is insane. And then for you guys to do the craft and release stuff, I'm sure it's like so crazy to see. Like after your first one, you must have been on such a high where you're like, what just happened?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, the pendulum always swings the other way, the more digital we get, and I'm sure, like, you have to do a live event. I'm gonna be
I
pushing that. I'm gonna be pushing that,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Now I
it
want to come to a craft and release for real because
yeah.
I'm like so excited. I'm so excited. I want to start doing more events. I just got like all this like stuff going on over here, and the moment I can actually leave, I want to travel and like do all these events. And I know you guys are doing some stuff next month, and um,
Yes. Anything we can
yeah,
do to
so
support, believe me, if
yeah,
you're coming to New York, we should absolutely collab, I think.
yo, of course,
You need to go live with this. I think when you see the response that people have, and also the conversations that you're having are so necessary. People are thirsty for the questions that you have to ask, but also I think your presence, your curiosity, like when you see people in real life, it becomes real. I think the digital stuff, and I'm sure you've heard it, you've experienced it. It's lonely. It's a little like our we don't respond in the same way to an emoji as we do to like an actual smiling face in front of us. Like our brain doesn't register it in the same way.
yeah. And I'm super old school. Like I don't like texting. Like
Ooh.
I'm not a texter is the thing. And it's funny, I've been doing this with my friends a lot, like in the last couple of years. I'm a voice noter. So like
Oh.
instead of texting people, I'll like, hey, what's up? Like, yo, I hope you're having a good morning. Just wanted to say, kill it this week. And then because I'm not, I don't get the same, I don't know, feeling when I text. And I'm such an expressive person and like the way I am. So I feel like that feels way better than me like trying to write out this whole thing. And I'm like, "Ugh, dude, I'm checking spelling mistakes. I'm like, wait,
Yes. Yeah,
so
no, I'm trying to get everybody in my life to do more voice notes because if you think about it, it's like when we're gone, your friends and family are gonna have your voice to go back to. That's
that
such
means,
a
yeah, for
powerful
sure.
thing. Even
For
when they're
sure.
like, "Yo, Kev, stop, send it."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One day, one day they're gonna appreciate all the voice notes that you sent them.
Yeah, it's been like that too. They're like, I can't listen to this at work because sometimes you don't know which Kev you're gonna get today. It
Exactly.
could be, yeah, so no, I get it. It's like the little, so when that translates to, these live events, yeah, it's like, I definitely need to go see one and experience one and
Yeah,
then kind of have yeah, that feeling.
we
Um,
got you.
how do you cultivate an audience? Because you do it so well. There's a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of creators, and they don't have that aspect yet. There's like, you make content and then you want a community because that's what you want. But like, you have a community, but you also like nourish it and like they start feeding off each other. I think that's where
Mm,
the relationship, that's what a real community is. It's like you don't even need to be there anymore. It's almost
yes.
like they're feeding off themselves. How do you do that? You do it so well.
I mean, that's a great question, and I think that, like, I like to pride myself in being better in real life. Like, legitimately, like, I don't want people to meet me and be like, "Oh my god." I pride myself in being so much better in real life, and I think that comes from a lot of variables. I think it would be easy to say, like, "Oh, you should just start throwing events," and things like that. Some people, it's like, you may be extremely introverted and that it's tough for you to commune with the people in that way. But I think the variables that make it a bit easier for me is that I've had to deal with people my whole life. Like, you know, being the child of immigrants, working very early. My mom owned a daycare for the longest. She's from Cambodia. She always been an entrepreneur. Opened her own daycare, and I was like watching kids that were my age. I was babysitting the kids that were my age. I was talking to adults from a very young age. Worked for a family business for 15 years while I was still kind of creating on the side before I went full time. And I had to, at 15, talk to psychologists, case managers, clients. I was thrown into these situations where I had to be able to communicate with all types of people. So I think that skill translates, over into the community aspect of where if I can have a conversation with you and introduce you to somebody who I may think that you might vibe with, in the space. I'm being warm, I'm being welcoming. You feel the need to mirror that. You know what I mean? Like it's like we've all been to events of where who is running this? You're looking around, you're like, who is hosting? Who is, who is taking we want to be taken care of, like we want to be invited in. And I think if you're willing to do that digitally, I hope to do that with my work. But I know, and also Glenn, my co-founder, she taught kindergarten for a little bit. She's super warm. Like we know when somebody's outside of the group a little bit, we're gonna bring you into the group. Like we're gonna make sure that you're not feeling alone in this space. And I think that facilitation a lot of people are uncomfortable with, but it needs to be done when you're hosting community events. Like you
Yeah.
can't just be the star. Like be the host.
You almost like just have to keep things together and running and you're kind of in the background a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you're in the background and you're like, hey, meet cool people. You're here. If you like my stuff, you're gonna like the people that are here, right? Like so with your stuff, Kev, you know the archetype of person that's gonna come to your event, right? So it's like
Yeah, yeah.
you guys are gonna get
It's a
along.
little wild on this end because there's so many different, that's what I'm scared of. I'm like, I don't know who's gonna show up or if anyone's gonna show up. But yeah. Yeah,
People
yeah.
one, people are gonna show up, but two, you're gonna be like, "Oh, there's kind of they're curious people."
Yeah.
That's the
It's
through line that they
curiosity,
have.
yeah.
Like you all don't have to be in the same uh field, right? Because you interview so many creatives. It's like across mediums, across genres. So it's like, but the people that are watching they're curious people. So you're introducing a bunch of curious people in the space to each other, and you never know who's gonna hit it off. There's folks that come together now that met at our community events, and they leave together. They make sure they get home. Like it's a thing, but the through line is like, oh, I'm interested in they're usually warm people. They are usually curious people. They're folks that are artists or aspiring artists. Like, all we have to do is start the conversation for you and they'll take it from there.
I feel like you have such a good idea of your audience. It's, like, so strong. So any type of content you put out, any type of questions, your newsletter, like, anything, it's so I don't know, it just feels so easy, and
Thank
it's
you.
like, yeah, you could just jump from content to content to content and just still feel like, "Oh, this is what I need." You talked about just now too, but you also in your video, Give Yourself Permission, you talked about art being on the side and then gaining
Mm,
traction and, you doing the business for, like, 15 years. What do you mean by gaining traction, and what does that feel like? Because there's a lot of artists right now that don't know what that feels like. Like, is it views? Is it
ruin.
believing in yourself? What does that traction feel like?
Mm. The traction for me was like, I shot weddings too. I have to apologize for the weddings that I shot though. I shot
Yeah, we could talk about it. We could have some therapy sessions right now. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah.
I ruined someone's big day for sure.
I
Uh,
forgot to record the vows. That's one of those yeah, 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 yeah. I forgot to so many stupid like, just so much stupid shit. Forgot to record the vows one time. One time I was crying so hard. Like, I never cry, but then, the groom he was, like, marrying her, but then he asked the daughter,
oh,
like, for permission to, like he's marrying her as well, so he did vows for the daughter.
oh my
Um, yeah, so I'm like, you could hear me in the mic, and I had to yeah, yeah, I had to apologize. I'm like, "Hey, I'm so sorry." You could hear my dumbass crying throughout this whole thing, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay." Like, I
they
was
were
like,
probably flattered. Like, come on.
"Yeah, yeah, yeah."
It was
I
so
would
good.
hope so. I would hope so.
He said, "I hope so."
I would hope so. But I was like listening to myself. I'm like, man,
Like,
suck it up, Kev. Suck
right,
it
like,
up. Be
damn, yeah,
professional,
like,
man.
who knows,
Yeah,
man? It might have been a long week, and,
yeah.
you
I
never
felt it though. I felt the love. So but yeah, sorry.
No,
Going. Yeah,
we're
you
gonna
shot weddings as well.
I shot some stuff, where I was like, "Oh, this is not my calling. I should probably not do that." But, like, I shot dogs, I shot like, it's like photography was just how I got I wanted to paint the world in that way, and I wanted to practice in a way that I think I feel for folks now that are coming into the digital landscape, and they're able to see how many views and likes and all that, and you're like, "Oh, well, what does my practice mean? What does it matter if I'm not that good yet?" But when you love something, when you're into it, you don't care. Like, you're trying to do it as much as possible with any free time that you have. So, that's what I was doing on the side while I was working. And to me, the traction was like I had some friends that were trying to do it full time while I was working and I would travel with them on the weekends or when I could take time off work. And we would go some amazing places. I was like one of my friends was shooting for luxury hotels, so I would just tag along with her and I'd get to practice and also like shoot the people in the country and things like that. So to me, I was like, okay, like I'm able to tag along, I'm able to do it. I think the quality of my work is improving. And then I landed, my first client essentially. Where I gave them like 100,000 photos for like
Yeah.
$900. Like you're like overly delivering in the worst
Yeah.
way.
Communicating on time. You're like, yeah. Warm
Yeah,
regards. You're like, just
exactly.
did.
Like, but here's a drive of like 10 terabytes for, like it's I landed my first client and to me that was traction because I was like, oh, I'm getting paid for doing this thing that I would do for free. I am doing for free. So in and that was Instagram was kind of just changing a little bit, but that's how I met my friends that were traveling and my friends that were doing the work. They weren't getting paid either. They were trying to get clients outside of the internet. There was no brand partnerships and things like that. So to me, it was like, okay, I got paid for doing this. I took my camera. I went to Utah because I saw like some photographers that I like. Went to Zion National Park, and I spent like 4 days between Utah and Arizona, shooting Antelope Canyon, and just do it. I was like, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is one of the calls that I'm supposed to be answering. And that to me was traction. It wasn't, now is virality is still a new thing, like a relatively new thing. It wasn't virality. It was like I'm doing the thing that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. I'm enjoying it. Somebody's willing to give me a couple $100 for it. That's traction to me. I'm going to keep going.
That's beautiful. Like that feeling. I remember how it's like someone believes in me, someone believes in my work.
Yeah.
Like it's not just me. And sometimes at that point, you don't really believe in yourself sometimes. So you
No.
just need that extra, like, hey, I'll pay you. And you're like, okay, I'm going somewhere. That's all you need.
Yes,
A
that's
little bit
it.
of push.
That's
Yeah.
it. What, you'll pay me for, you know what I'm doing for money right now? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah. Like
you'll
I'm
pay
doing
me first.
everything but this right now. Yeah. I
So
get it.
yeah,
I
that's a
get it.
great question of like what is traction now to people is like, oh, I got a million views on my last video. Like that to me is it's not I've been on the side of I said this yesterday, like I've been on the side of one like, I've been on the side of 100,000 likes. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same. I get it too now because before even the amount of followers or views, it's the same thing, and it feels a little empty sometimes. Um, I think that's why I wanted to start doing this because this feels real.
Mm,
And as much as people are like, "Hey, can I get featured or whatever?" It's like it's not really gonna do anything. Like just because one guy is saying they like the work doesn't mean that your work isn't good. Like if I don't, you know?
exactly.
So yeah, I could totally feel that and understand that. You've done so much different types of arts and different types of mediums. What's your favorite?
Ooh. Man, I'm loving video right now, Kev. I am. I am. I would say like I've been called to um I think that if you are called to do creative work in this life, it's your duty to answer that call. It's your duty. But I think the calling like there's constant callings in this life. Like which ones are you going to answer? So for me it's like I've answered the call to photograph, I've answered the call to write and also utilize audio, utilize my voice with podcasting. I feel like I'm answering the call to create films, to make films. And I think this is my favorite call right now because I feel like I can utilize all the shit that I I built up like muscle with. So with photography, you learn how to compose a shot, right? Like you learn lighting, you learn color, you learn composition. Um, that's film is just moving images, right? So I'm like, if I can do this with stills, I know I can compose a beautiful shot in a video. I know I can grade it to my liking because I know what I like with photos. I like punchy shots. I'm a huge Steve McCurry fan. Shot for Nat Geo. I'm like always trying to mimic, even in my photographs, that richness of color, bold reds, really electric greens. So for me, writing, I'm like, oh, okay, like I wrote for a podcast, I write for myself. I know I can translate that in my videos. I know I can utilize all the skills that I learned with editing audio in my videos. So it's like I feel like this is like a combinatorial like thing that I'm doing now. I get to combine all my skills and throw my full weight behind making films.
It shows all the um especially well for me just because I'm not a good writer. I don't. And that's what I think a lot of people, yeah. you that's the look you're giving, but trust me. It's trust me, it's like I'll sit there and I'm like, "What is this? Am I in 5th grade right now?" Like like what is this? This doesn't make sense. So like and I think that's not the issue, but that's like the skill that a lot of people don't exercise,
Mm.
especially filmmakers. A lot of creators today, it's I'll buy a camera, I'll start shooting, grade it, cool. But then the fall off is the writing. I feel the connection. How did you start that? Like, how did you start writing? How did you become a good writer? Are you practicing? Are you reading a lot?
Mhm. I mean, I think you're right. I think it is an underrated skill to
Yeah.
have because it's like and I think any decent writer is a voracious reader, is a good like you're reading things that you like, you're being transported into different worlds. I read Dune before way before I watched, the movies, right? Like it's like it's a story that actually keeps us hooked. It doesn't matter how powerful the visuals are. When I was doing a lot of traveling in my early 20s, I started writing about the experiences, because I was like, okay, I'm taking really beautiful pictures. I'm on a camel in Morocco. This is fly. I'm also going through a breakup right now. Like, is my life just going to be a series of beautiful images? Or is it going to be a snapshot of maybe my philosophies? Is it going to be some understandings that I've come to? I started thinking about, like, the people that came before us, the elders. Yes, we can look at their pictures. What would it be like to read about their thoughts on love, about their thoughts on fear, friendship? That's a completely different story than them at a cookout. That's amazing. Like we have that. We can show that. Oh, that's Auntie when she was in the 80s, but like her thoughts have changed, her feelings have changed. I want to, if I can leave that behind, I know that I have left behind everything that I wanted to. So, for me, writing was a way to archive the understanding that I was coming to of myself and my journey, but also like I guess it was really selfish in that way. Like, it wasn't like I wanna be published, and, I was like, I just need to document my life a bit more thoroughly than just beautiful pictures, and I feel that way now translating it into film of this is no knock to me. There are people that visually just they are eating the girls up. Like, they are eating everybody up visually, but that does I will put up a story that I have to tell around a campfire with absolutely no visuals. I'll put my story up against those visuals any day. And I think like when you start thinking like that, you can hire a team to help you with the visuals. Like but the story has to come from you, and it has to come from living. It has to come from talking to people, from reading books. Like that the experiencing life is the difficult part of becoming a writer.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. The experiencing life is, and I realize that a lot with people who, because I'm in my 30s too. We're all older. And I think at this age, there's just, hopefully at this point, you experience enough life that you have enough stories to tell,
Mm.
that you could sit in a room and feel comfortable about, you know, anything and the way you feel. And because the creators that are just starting out, that is what they're missing, the life part. Yeah, like, can
I
you talk
mean,
to someone just on the
yeah.
regs? Like, yeah, 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 and
It's like, I know Gox has the flyest visuals on the planet. Y'all, not everybody stop trying to be Gox. Like
everyone, like, yeah, the color, everything, and that's, yeah, 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 and it's such a trend and it's a wave, and because I do a lot of this content, I see the same things and people send the same stuff, which at the same time, it's like I get it. You got to practice your skills, and this is
yes.
probably the best way. But at some point, you gotta like find your voice, and if that means stepping away for a little bit, cool. Because yeah, his stuff is great, but
Incredible.
that's it's his life. He was an artist first. You could tell everything about it. He was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
documenting his art. So for people to copy it, you see it all the time. There's like and transitions and
Oh, man. The
like
pen
it's
with
just
the
yeah.
the pen one. Yes, yes. Oh my god, the pen, if I see
the
the
ma-
pen,
the match.
like, if I see the pen one more time, like, leave Gox alone. Let that man rest.
He's probably like,
Right, he's
thank
not.
you, thank you.
Yeah,
Oh
thank
my
you so
god.
much,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The
Like,
magic arm with the pen stuff. Oh
oh,
my gosh. I
yeah,
can't wait. I'm definitely tagging you in a couple of those.
please. I mean, it's true, like, exactly what you said, though, like, I'm sure you're meeting and talking to folks that you're like, "Oh, you just need to you need to have some experiences."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you need to process your feelings around things. You're not there yet, and I think any great filmmakers that we all laud, it's like they've lived a lot of life. They've seen a lot of things. They've synthesized those feelings into scripts, into, like you can't replicate that. You cannot like your experience is deeply uniquely your own. Sure there's themes that people may resonate with, but you have to live. you have to live. And I think a lot of folks, the anxiety around, you know, living instead of constantly creating is why we're seeing copy and paste, a lot of copy and paste.
Yeah,
And,
living
and
versus creating is like
yeah,
a
it's like it's okay to just sit with your family sometimes and listen. You know, like it's okay to take a walk in the park and not record the walk. It's something that you have to sit with and be bored and be like all these things that we're running from. It's like those are the things that come out and come through your art and will find the people that you need to find, I think. So,
yeah. The being bored is like an amazing feeling where you're just kind
oof,
of sitting. That's where some of the greatest memories happen, I feel like. I have such a big family too, and I feel like that's when you're bored and like you just come up with stupid shit to do,
yes,
you're like, "Ah, this is amazing feeling. This is my childhood or this is like right now." Yeah. Feels so good.
it does.
You talked about, you know, video being the thing that you're loving right now, and you've just shot your first short film,
I did.
Passing Through. This has been amazing, and you're in post-production right now, so I think this is gonna come out in maybe, like, 2 weeks or so, so
Yeah.
at that point, I feel like you'll be either done or getting it in, or I don't know where you'll be at, but, you actually mentioned, a few notes from one of the most creatively fulfilling weeks of my life.
Mhm.
What made it the most creatively fulfilling for you?
Ooh. I think just the when you've been shooting for like for so long by yourself, and by yourself meaning like a tripod, and then maybe maybe one
Yeah.
other person. Maybe I'll like bribe my husband and he'll help.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll be like, okay, I'll watch the camera for you.
Yeah. I
So
saw you touching the tripod a
right,
little bit, like,
exactly, exactly that,
you're
exactly that.
on the 6th take, you're
Whew. So
like
it's like we're like I think we're so used to solo creating, having a team, there are about 17 people, helping out with this from an AC to DP to producer to actors to like bringing your words to life and having other people breathe life into it and do the shit that they do extremely well. Because it's like when you are stretched in a million different ways, this is not the thing that you're mastering in the same way that somebody who was 100% dedicated to G&E is doing. I'm not setting up the lights like that. I'm not, like I'm not paying as close attention to what lens I should use as Clark who DP'd it. Like it's amazing to see masters at work, work towards your thing. And it turns from your thing to our thing. And I think that I never experienced that in that way, of that team helping to bring that to work, and I think that, like, I was lucky enough to have it was such a fantastic environment. It really felt like a family at the end of it, and I'd never experienced that, not in photo, not in writing, like, super isolated industries, I think. This to me, I was like, "Oh, yeah, like, I see why it's addicting. This is
Yeah.
amazing. It's expensive. It's expensive as hell, but it's addicting."
You got
I get
every
it.
yeah, or like, you're paying everyone, then you have like, you make sure everyone is fed, and then you like
Yes.
and then
Oh,
locations, and then you're like, "How long do we have this place for? 30 minutes?" Gotta set up the like, yeah, it's crazy. You're driving places, good
yes.
parking, like, people don't understand that, yeah.
Yeah, the crafty alone, you're like, "What craft
Yeah.
services is
Yeah.
insane." You're like, "You."
Yeah, yeah. Because you want the good stuff, and then now you're like,
Yeah,
"Alright,
pizza
well,
again?
yeah, what do we
Yeah.
do?" Yeah, yeah, pizza, different toppings
Yeah,
maybe? Let's just
yeah.
throw some in. No, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, and now you get a look into, "Oh, this is why films cost so much," and, scheduling too, and there's just so much, and you probably, when you're hiring the actors, that them coming in and reading for your
Oh,
script, did you do that? And that,
yeah,
I
like
think, is one of the most fulfilling on a film, because sometimes you sit there and you watch someone perform your script,
mhm.
sometimes it's even better than how you imagined it, and
Oh my gosh.
you're like, "Hold on, this is perfect right now." You don't know what to say, you start looking around, you're like, "This was good,
Yeah,
right?"
you're like, "We
Like,
wrote this?" Like, "I wrote
yeah,
this?"
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like this, you just forget to
Yeah,
call, you're like, you know what I mean? That
100%.
feeling is amazing that I think everyone should have, where you write something, it comes to life, and it comes to life together, and then it becomes one vision, and it's like,
Oh, it's
wild.
you took the words out of my mouth. Like, it was that the table read, because we did, like, auditions. I had a casting director, thank goodness. So she got together, I think there was over 150 auditions between the 2 characters, 2 leads, and so going through those was hilarious and also amazing 'cause acting is tough. Y'all, like,
Yeah.
acting is tough. Acting is a skill, and not everybody has that skill. Let's just say that. So, it was like
You're like out of 150, you're like, fuck, that one was hurt. That one hurt a little
yeah,
bit.
and I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna have to act. I'm gonna have to act in this." So, like, ooh. But, we found the 2 that were incredible, and then having them actually read the script and breathing life into the script. There's so many improv moments that are making it into the film of where I'm like, "Oh, this line sounds better. How you interpreted this sounds even better than how I wrote it." So, and even one of the PAs, I had to g like, I had a vision of this one woman who's in the, short having an assistant, but I hadn't casted an assistant. I was like, "Ah, maybe she could have an assistant, maybe she could not." But one of the PAs was just I saw him like, Clark, who DP'd him, was like, "Who are you gonna have, be the assistant?" It was, like, the day of. I was like, "I have no idea." I looked at the top of, like, this cottage where Harriet, who was playing the woman, and, Phoenix, who was the PA, they were just talking and, like, laughing together, and I was like, "Oh, it has to be him." So we got him, like, an outfit. He did he barely has any lines, but he stole the show. Like, I think that is one of the amazing things about film too, where you're like, "Oh, this fits perfectly. Oh, you're on set, like, let's rock."
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
And
So
you're probably like, you're a star. Like, have
oh,
you ever thought about acting? You're probably, right?
wait
Because
till you
some
see
people
it.
have it. Some people have it. Like you said, some people don't.
No. But
And
he was like, "Yeah, I've always wanted to be," but he jumped into it and
yeah.
had the whole
He
set
planted that seed. He's like,
prepared.
I'm gonna get on set and just take my chance.
Yeah, exactly, like,
Yeah.
shoot my shot, and we got him an outfit same day. He killed it.
I love that. I love that. I can't wait. And that's gonna release next month, April
Yes.
24th or
April
27th,
26th and
7th.
7th
Oh,
at Camp Film Fest with
very
the
cool.
team at Creator Camp.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I want to talk about. So anyone watching this, that's when it's releasing. Because this is gonna come out definitely before then. Creator Camp. That was a whole thing. And it was so cool to see you there with everyone and doing the thing, and then seeing your film with all the ladies. You guys
Yay.
killed it.
Thank you.
Um, and can you tell me about that? Because I've done camp in like high school, like leadership camps and things like that,
Mhm.
and I know that feeling of like, okay, cool, we're all here together doing that. But a creator camp sounds like could be kind of wild, could be freeing, could be kind of stressful a little bit.
Oh,
How
yeah.
was that experience?
It was wild. I will say I'll give it hats off to the team, to Chris, Max, Danny, to everyone involved with Creative Camp because they produce the hell out of these trips. But, like, the one to Switzerland was the biggest one that they've done, so far. So it was, like, over 90, I think, creatives in total. I didn't meet everybody. Like, there's no way
That
you
you could
can
meet
meet
everybody.
everybody. You
Yeah.
can't. So
Yeah.
it's like, we're in Switzerland, in the Swiss Alps, hearing Jack from Patreon give keynotes, and it was just like I consider myself like an introverted extrovert. So yes, like I was drawn to people that were kind of the same, but it's also a lot of folks met each other already. So it is almost like high school, like high school where like people are acclimated with each other and some people are like, "Oh, I don't know." But I'm also older. I think I was the oldest woman there. Like,
You felt it.
legitimately.
I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
It's so funny because I know, I watched your stuff even before, so I
Yeah.
knew, I was like, "Okay, she's definitely more like me," where it's like we're on the older side, and then going to a place where the energy is a little younger, um, you can tell a little bit
For
sometimes
sure.
talking. Yeah, it's not like a bad thing, but sometimes you're like, "I feel old. I
Yeah,
feel a little
totally.
old.
You're
My
like,
social
"Damn."
battery sucks right now."
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There were a couple, like, older dudes, and they were like, "I gotta call my kids." Like, they would, like, excuse themselves and be like, "I gotta talk to my wife and kids." And I'm like, "Oh, like, y'all have the lingo is a little different, like, the energy is different." So it's a lifeblood, right? Like, it's like I'm like, "Okay, I gotta get my energy up because everybody else is," the youth has energy. So, uh, but it is also incredible working with Lynn, Tiffany, and Amanda, collaborating because they and hats off to them because we were gonna go a funnier route, which I'm cool with funny. I've done funny too. So, but I was like, the judges are gonna be a little older. That was my thinking. I was like, oh, the judges, when they told us who they would be, they were on the Swiss board and things like that. I was like, oh, like I think we should really do an ode to Lukerbond, which is where we were staying, and they came up with the water idea. So I wrote that piece that morning, the morning we were gonna shoot. Read it to them, and they're like, okay, let's shot list this. And Lynn and I went out and shot it. Tiffany and Amanda stayed back and animated it. And it just came out we really were like it felt really good. I'm just been fortunate enough to I think in every group that I'm in, I find pockets where it just feels right, and thankfully, they were one of those pockets, when we were creating together. It was seamless, like we felt very in sync, there was no arguments, no nothing. Like, in any group projects, you could hear other groups like, "No, we should do it this." We were like, "Okay, let's put it together, we know who's doing what." Um, and when we presented it, the response was really beautiful, and we didn't expect I was joking with them. I was like, "What are we gonna do with the prize money?" Like, "How are we gonna how are we gonna split this up? Do we wanna go to Vegas? Do we wanna how do we
Yeah, yeah,
wanna
yeah.
spend it?"
Where we partied in Switzerland,
Exactly,
right?
"Where are we going?" Like, and they were like, "Oh, like, you're just stop." And I was like, "Okay, like, we'll see." But we ended up taking home a surprise 2nd place, which was amazing. It wasn't supposed to be that way, but the judges were like, "We liked y'all so much that we're gonna create a 2nd place." So,
And I feel like the fingerprints of all you guys were just on it. Like you could tell
yeah.
everything about it. Like if you know each creator, you're like, oh, this is yeah, so good.
Yes, like, it makes so much sense, and I think we all have, like, a special place in each other's just minds and hearts now that we executed on something like that. So it's great, like, I would anything that I mean, I think that is a powerful part of creator camps too, is that you're not just attending to network, you're attending to make stuff with people that you may n have never made anything with
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
before.
And different mediums too. It's really cool.
Completely different mediums. I'm like, when
Yeah.
Tiffany and Amanda pulled out their pens, I was like, "Oh." I thought I like stationery. I have nothing I don't like stationery
Yeah,
apparently.
like what are we doing? It's like,
This is
are you putting that to a magic arm right now
this
or
is crazy. It was
yeah.
crazy. So, yeah, shout out to them, and shout out to Creator Camp.
In your video the key to happiness, there was like archival footage of
Mm.
you. And then I saw, your little screen and you had post-its along the bottom. And it read, "Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Learn to discipline your disappointment. Innovate yourself out of issues and change the world."
Ooh.
If you were to write one right now for yourself,
Mhm.
what would it say?
Damn, Kev. Yeah, you gotta do this live.
If you could write a couple if you want,
Yeah,
it'd
I
make it
mean, yeah, I
easier.
think it would like, I've been saying it. I think create more than you consume, create more than you criticize, create more than you compare. I think that that would be the first Post-it that I wrote for myself now because I think that, like, some people are like, "Oh, well, how do I not compare?" That's why it's specifically how I utilize language is very intentional. So it's like I'm saying create more, create more, create more. You're gonna criticize, you're gonna compare, you're absolutely gonna consume. We can't go a day without consuming. But where does creation lie in your priority? Your list of priorities. It has to come first, I think. Like with that mentality, which I've taken into the things that I'm doing. I know we all know when you're like, "Oh, I've scrolled way too much today." Like I have consumed someone's uncle's cat's
Yeah.
dog's account. Like I'm deep in the hole right now.
Yeah.
Like, like
You're just in bed. You're like,
you're doing too much right now. You
yeah.
haven't eaten. You're just
Yeah.
consuming shit.
Then the
So,
screen goes black, you see your face and you're like,
yes,
what
that's
happened?
Black Mirror. Like you see your face, you're like, "Ooh," like you're a little disgusted with
Yeah, yeah.
yourself.
Who's that?
You're like, jump scare. So for me, it's like just do more of that. You feel yourself comparing, create something. You feel yourself criticizing something, create something. Like the making, the action is the antidote, in my opinion, and has been for me. I'm like, even restarting the Letters from a Stranger project. That for me was like, I'm tired of of kind of sitting here and thinking about that project over and over again. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna take me, I don't care. Somebody DM'd me the other day, I promised I would put a bounty on this Finsta's head when I reach 100. Imma be like, "Somebody find out who this is." Uh, like, the Finsta was like, "You only have X amount of time left before 100," and I'm like, "Okay." Like, give me a project to root for you. Like, it's one of those that's it, of where I just if I'm in a state of creation, I don't have time to compare. I don't have time to consume. I don't have time to criticize. Even though those things are human, they're natural, they're a part of life, I can always go to create more. I can always go to the action. That's the thing that I can control. So I think that Post-it would be front and center. Um Along with the other ones, I'm like, "Damn," like, younger me was really, was really, really pushing for and I thank her for that of, like, really pushing me and propelling me forward, in terms of my philosophy, and when you write it down, like, it stays with you, right? It just
Yeah.
does.
It's actually beautiful now that I think about it because it's like that would be your Post-it, but you've already turned it into like it's like a visual Post-it already. Like the
Yeah.
content you're doing right now it's come to life. These Post-its almost.
Thank you,
Um,
Kev.
yeah.
What would your Post-it say? I'm curious.
It's crazy. Like I've literally been at the beginning of the year I always write, a couple things down that I'll always remember that makes it easier. And it is create versus consume.
Hmm.
That's and tired, not lazy. Like you could feel tired,
Ooh.
but you can't be lazy. Like you
Ooh.
could feel like, yeah, I could feel tired. That's cool. But you can't be lazy. You
I
can't be lazy.
love that.
That always gets me going. Sometimes I am there and I'm like, do I want to do this? And it's like, all right, I'm tired, but it's like, dog, you just can't be lazy. You just can't.
Mm. Mm.
So that's probably it right there. Those two things really keep me going right now.
Ooh, I'm taking that, Kev. Don't worry, I won't make it a video, but I will
Yeah.
I am
No, make a video. Make a video. Please. Before we get into the video breakdown, please like, subscribe, and share this with anyone you think would enjoy it. I appreciate it. Let's get on to the breakdowns.
saying no wasn't a big part of my upbringing. Not as the eldest daughter, the Ada. It was always yes. Yes, mom. Yes, dad. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes to elders pinching the soft of your arm, demanding more drink or chin chin. Yes to coaches that bench you and blatantly play politics. Yes to biased teachers and shitty supervisors. Yes to endless requests from siblings and cousins. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you obey. Yes, you comply. Yes, you submit. Yes, you don't openly question. Yes, this is how you show respect to others. Thankfully, with time and age and experience, and my personal boundaries bloodied by decades of obeying, complying, and submitting, I finally started asking the question, how the hell do I show respect to myself?
Okay, so this intro part, this is so good. It's so good, and I feel like there's so much intention with location, wardrobe, things like that. Why did you choose a classroom setting?
Ooh, it just came to it when I wrote this. I thought about I went to a Catholic middle school, uh, and I just thought I
Me
thought
too. Me too.
about yeah. Did you? Oh my
Yeah,
god!
yeah.
And my
Yeah.
parents thought it was a good idea for some reason.
Yeah, I'm Filipino. I was like, I
Oh,
was doing all that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff.
well, you get it. Like I think that there's like this school to me is the perfect setting for uh certain type of obedience, right? A certain type of like you learn to repress a lot, specifically in a classroom setting. You learn that there's rules that you have to follow, that there's a rubric that you have to follow, that there's tests that you have to take that mean that you're worthy or not. We call those grades, right? That mean that you're smart or not. We call those grades. Like, and to me, I was never really interested in school. I was never great at passing certain exams. The art classes, yes, but not, math, science, like, not the typical stuff, but you're graded and your intelligence is graded more so in that realm, in the STEM realm, than it is in the creative realm, especially with immigrant parents. So, for me, I wanted to create this setting that reminded myself, but also the viewer, that there's something at stake, There's rules to be followed here, and whether you pass or not in this setting determines whether you're a good daughter, whether you're a good student, and we all know what that's like.
I wish I could show you what I wrote because I wrote what I felt, and then I wanted to ask you before I told you. So I was like, this classroom symbolizes obedience
Mm.
for me, and I knew it. And I think that's why I wanted to ask about it because it meant so much. I felt like I feel trapped when I watch this. Like because you're in it and it just all these memories came back. And I think that's the beauty of like filmmaking. And like it was like a perfect location. I was like, "Oh, I hope like this is I hope this is what it really symbolizes because this is how I feel." And the writing. How did you come up with this? Like where did this come from?
I wish I could show you. I might send you that. I was like recording myself on iPhoto. What is it? The little photo thing that comes up in Mac. But like I wrote this because I'm like, damn, like being the eldest daughter, eldest middle child, right? Like I always felt torn between my siblings, but also I felt like a duty to just say yes all the time. And I knew that I got a positive response from saying yes, from obeying, from submitting, from, endlessly giving in ways that, younger you isn't aware of how much is being demanded of you from such a young age. So for me, I'm like, how do I write this in a way that where there's beats, like I feel like there's movement here. Um, there's repetition. I like using a lot of repetition in introduction specifically. So I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Yes to yes to yes to. Like I want you to feel like exhausted from the list that I'm making because I was exhausted and sometimes still exhausted by the demands that are made on you. And I think if you're a child from a certain background or you've had response because it's not always the eldest, right? You could be the middle or the youngest or wherever you fall, and you're putting a lot of these responsibilities on your back, especially if your parents came here for a better life and they're expecting their child to now provide for them in many ways. If it's not financially, then emotionally, you know? Um, to me, I wanted this introduction specifically to feel like I'm just putting weight. I'm putting one more chip and one more chip and one more chip on the expectations of you until um until it breaks and you're like, what about me? What about me? And we call that selfish in certain cultures, and then we call it boundaries in another.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. And I love the way that you emphasized it. The weight is really felt, especially with the amount of yeses and the circling and punching in the shots and all that kind of stuff.
I always start with writing first, so the visuals come after, like
Yeah,
you
okay, I
you
wanted to ask about that. And there's like the writing first, the visuals after, probably the music. Is that after, or
that's
is that
after 2. That's after
after
2.
the visuals, or like
Yeah,
in
I
between?
shot it before, so I wrote it, then shot it, booked this location, in Brooklyn where when I saw this location, I was like, "Oh, yeah," because
Perfect.
I was like, where am I gonna rent a classroom?" And then I'm like, "I'm in New York, like, there's somewhere to rent, a classroom setting." Saw it, shot it, and then, I knew that I wanted it to have this almost classical urgency. I love the sound of just classical music, and I feel like the strings whenever I hear strings in work, it gives this almost anxiousness, anxiety about it. So I usually score everything later unless I'm trying to cut to specific beats in a song.
Yeah, the strings really made it also feel like heavy. I don't
Yeah,
know, you know?
like it's
Um,
like it's like hitting
yeah,
like
yeah,
this
yeah,
like
yeah. Like it almost like you do one of these where it's like,
yeah.
ugh. It almost
Yeah.
sounds like my mom yelling a little bit.
Yes, yes. You're
You
like
know?
enough. Like you want to just
Eh,
be
like
like
a
enough.
high, and it's just yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's perfect. When you write, there's a lot of rhythm and flow to it. It's like poetry, feels like. Spoken word. Do you always try to make it flow that well?
I mean, to me, it's like
Or
I've
natural?
worked with some incredible poets. I don't consider myself a poet. I can write poetry. But I think that I I like rhythmic writing, beyond poetry. I like when sentences are constructed and you can only see the music behind it. Like we just like I think hip hop does it well, where when you hear somebody going without a beat, you're like, oh, like you don't need music. Like you're writing something that's in the air that we can't see. Like that to me, I think you can do that with words. Um, so I do. I think there's a rhythm and cadence that I like to have with my writing and I think my voice just makes it sound more poetic than it actually is.
Yeah,
So
your voice like you could do audiobooks. You could be a voice actor for sure. For
that's a
sure.
goal. That's a goal, cuz
Yeah.
we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that on the books,
Yeah.
2026, right?
Definitely. It's definitely gonna be there.
How many a guru has made their goal pointing to a place on a map that doesn't exist? The path to said place changes depending on your level of desperation, but you've already come this far and paid the sage, and with one more purchase, the promise lies just behind the door. All you have to do is choose the right key. It could be more followers, more money, more clothes, more friends, more healing, more affirmations in a notebook, on a mirror, or on a snack you told yourself you shouldn't eat. Or maybe it's another degree, a ring, a house, a car, a title. You chase them all. Try them all. The opening of one door leading to another door, and another, until you're fresh out of keys and need to collect more. Never, for a second, stepping into the room to take a seat, just long enough to enjoy the view. I saw the same people at the same office in the same small town for almost 15 years. I took the same 2 streets to my parents' house when I moved back at 23 to save money after a breakup. I ate at the same restaurants downtown and bought the same snacks from Trader Joe's and wished the same thing every Sunday evening. That I could move away like the rest of my friends and start my life instead of waiting for it. The extra income I saved from living at home allowed me to travel more frequently, so every chance I got, I was gone. The destination didn't matter, it was the leaving I was addicted to. I loved watching the same city with the same people at the same office fade to nothing from 30,000 feet in the air. Then days would pass and the high would fade and I'd inevitably have to come home. The hard truth I was running from is that everything normalizes. Even the travel, after a while, felt frivolous. Shit, I thought changing boyfriends was a key until days turned to months and the new one was worse than the old. I thought money was the key until I started earning more and no amount proved enough. I thought more followers, a thinner body, better clothes, and maybe some awards might sustain it, but remember, Faith, human beings are insatiable. Don't get me wrong, new things can drastically improve your quality of life or be buffers to stress, but they cannot and will not keep you in a constant state of happiness. The contrast, the other emotions that live inside us, will still exist. The anger, sadness, jealousy, and all the unsavory bits being necessary. The darkness is the only way you recognize real light. And happiness, I've found, doesn't exist in the past or in some distant future. It's a feeling you can access through gratitude in the present.
How did this visual come to be? Because this looks so cool.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
looks
I
so
feel like this is
cool.
an underappreciated shot.
It's
I
so
love
it's
this
so
shot.
good. I love it too because it's like the lighting is very specific, but it's even more specific with this magnifying glass. And it's like
Yes.
I don't think anyone would ever think. I don't know. It's so good. How did you even do this?
I wanted to use a magnifying glass for the longest, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I bought this way before. I was like, "Man, I need to use this as a prop." And, when the prompt, the happiness prompt came, or the question was always there, I was like, "Oh, like, it would be great to search for happiness." And one of the old school ways that we saw it done in movie and cinema, like from Sherlock Holmes to whatever anything that's missing, you're utilizing a magnifying glass. So I have a spotlight in our apartment, and I kind of just cut all the lights, put the spotlight on, set the camera up to where it's looking up, and
Yeah.
I was able to get a few takes and come up with a shot.
Yeah, it looks so good. And how did you get it completely black in the back? Like, is that just the lights and then color correction? You're just like crushing the shadows a bit and
Yes,
the
that's color correction. That's color correction in post.
wow, this looks so good. And I noticed you do, and you just talked about it. The voice changing.
Yes.
You do that. You play around with your voice a lot, which is like it layers it and textures it a lot. What is the choice behind? Like, why do you layer your voice and have different types of versions of it? for a lot of your videos, not just this one.
Like, I think that it's just such a cool way to add character, to add, like, alter egos almost to your work, you know? Like, I a huge fan of Kendrick Lamar, what he does with voice, what his engineers do with voice. You know there's, like, 4 Kendrick Lamars, you know? Like,
Yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly, there's about 5 Kendrick Lamars. Like, it's to me, it's a representation of my subconscious almost. Like, when I'm going lower, who's speaking? Is it me still speaking? Is it my alter ego? Is it my subconscious? That's why I think I play with it of where, when I am writing, who am I writing to? Who is the one writing? I think that the narrator is multiple. We're multiple people. We contain multitudes, right? So I want the voice to be a vehicle to showcase, the multiple versions of myself.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed it a lot, and I was like, "Man, it's so good." It just sound now that you say Kendrick, ah, I get it. I get it. It feels like that. Where did you get this prop and the ideas of these keys? And it's like it. I props are such a big thing for films, but people
Huge.
don't use a lot. And I felt like this was so good. Like you know how you did the locations with the last one, the wardrobe and stuff like that. But this one, like, where did you find this thing? Did you just have it?
I just ordered it. I ordered the key, like, I knew I wanted red, like, red was coming up to me a lot,
Oh,
so I wanted, when I ordered the red box, I was like, "Oh, like, I can also find these little key, like, tags that are red
yeah.
with numbers on them that to represent, these elements of happiness that I think I'm getting."
Yeah. Yeah, the red, like
Yep. Yeah, it's like the red pops, you
it
know?
does. You think a lot about, the colors prior. I think in all your productions too, you do a lot of that. Wardrobe too.
Yes.
The fashion sense. The colors and the even your slides, it has this, like, deep color to them, deep
Yes.
texture to them. I'm like, it's so thoughtful.
Thank you,
It's
yeah.
cool. So the red came to you prior to like as you're writing the script?
Yeah, the red, I was like, "Oh, like, it'd be cool to for these red keys," because
What?
red brings up so much, I think,
And
to
what did it
us.
symbolize in this for you?
It
Red.
symbolizes energy, a sense of urgency, this life or death. Red is, our blood is red, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I think when folks the topic of happiness comes up and it's something that we're chasing, I don't know, the color red came up of where urgent, it's an urgent thing. For a lot of folks. So you hope that that may be the book. How to Win Friends, Influence People. That book is read, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like,
And that was a choice too, right? Like
yes,
to use this right here.
yep, yeah. To use that to have that pop of red, which great book. A little archaic, but uh, great book. But it's like with self help, there that industry in general. There's a lot of like if you don't 10 days to 30 days to 100 days to there's these flashing images that we have of we have to change our life in this amount of time, and that will make me happy if I get the things that I think will result from following this book that this person wrote
Yeah.
that has that has is giving kind of overarching advice that may not specifically apply to you and your situation, but I think for me, when I close my eyes, those images flash in red.
Did you go through a number of books or a number of props before you or you automatically were like, "Oh, this book needs to be read."
I think I
Just
went through a couple. I was like, "Ah, which one is gonna look like?"
yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
And
"Ah,
you're
look."
like, you're holding it. Yeah, 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 yeah. See, that's the
Right.
stuff that people don't see. That's the stuff that
Yes.
people don't see that it's like, you know, they might pick up stuff, but then you hold stuff and then you're like, you look back at footage or you're just like, you're looking at it, you're like, this, I know that this is not gonna cut. Because imagine this was blue or,
Exactly, it doesn't feel the
yeah.
same,
Oh, no, I
and
get
even
it.
with the short that we just shot, I was very specific about what I
Colors.
wanted her wearing, what I wanted the 2 leads wearing, and what those colors symbolize in the
Yeah.
film.
Because that's a lot of character. You can learn a lot about someone even by the way that they dress, but
Yes.
even the way that they sit or stand or the way that they order or the way that they talk to people. It's so very intentional with characters.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
beauty of it. like when you
Abs I
go
mean,
deep.
we see that with Sever I don't know if you watched Severance.
No, that's the one that I have to watch. Everyone's like, "You have to watch this." And the intention, and I love all the backstory and how they just everything about it. It feels like it's very intentional.
I
Very.
think the color cinematography alone, you're gonna geek out
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
seriously. But
I
they
gotta
use
watch it.
color very intentionally in that show.
Y Yeah, and, like, did you read that they, had different, like, it was, like, 40 or 50 shades of white before they yeah, they painted the, and I guess it's the set,
Mhm.
or the hallways or whatever, but they painted it in, like, 40, maybe 40 different colors of white, I think, something like that.
Wow.
Or it was a lot of white, and it was just, like, off by a little bit, and then they had to choose one that felt right,
Mm.
and I was like at some point, I was like, "Okay, at what point is" yeah, how much white is there?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
like,
crazy, yeah.
diminishing returns on the white, yeah, like
Yeah, and then even, like, the carpet, which is green, was actually a very, very bright green
mm,
because they knew that they wanted to color correct it and look a little bit muted, so I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I
interesting.
love that. I love the choices storytellers make and filmmakers make.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's fascinating. It's
it
never
is, it
ending.
really is. That's why I love talking to you guys about this stuff because I know at some point, the ones that actually do think about it, it's really cool to understand, like, creatively where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
the choice to do this in black and white, um,
It was,
and full
yes.
frame. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Can you tell me about what the choice was? Why did you choose it to be in black and white? And did it have anything to do with Oh, okay, yeah. I'll let you explain.
Yes, no, I mean, go ahead, Kev, what was the rest of that question?
No, 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 no. I don't want I'm so excited. I'm like, yo, you shut up, Cam. Sometimes I just say shit and like shut up. Like let the person speak. Yeah, what was the choice to do it in black and white?
I mean, I just, like there's a feeling that black and white conveys, like, it's like this there's a texture to it, there's a nostalgia to it, you know? Um, and that's how I felt, like, I wanted to end the video of where I'm giving you these kinda, like, snapshots in a smaller frame, like, sure, these are back in the day images, like, I had to really go through drives for some
Mhm.
of those. That's I don't even know what camera I'm using at that point to get that, like, I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
phone or a camera. So it's like I'm 1, with size, I wanted to make everything cohesive, and then when I went back into full frame to give this, like, closing black and white, um, texture to
Yeah.
the ending.
No, it's yeah, and I noticed that instantly, the black and white and then the full frame, and it was such an interesting choice to me, and I was like, "This is definitely intentional." Except for like the now footage, the memories. Yeah, I just
Mhm.
wanted to ask about that because I love it. I think black and white too. People just slap black and white, but there is a texture that you get that you don't get with color
Yes.
almost, and it's very detailed because there's so many different shades.
Mhm.
Um, that could look good. And yeah, I just wanted to ask about that because I was like, it's such an interesting choice.
Yeah, I just love the way it looked, like, in post
Yeah.
too. I was like, "Oh, man, it's, like, milky." It's like
Yeah, yeah,
you
that's
know?
exactly it. How much okay, sorry, before we get into it, how many times do you redo the voiceover? Like, are you yeah,
That's a great
I
question.
had to because it's so good, and I'm like, I know she spent so much time on it. She must be like, "That didn't sound good. That didn't sound right. That didn't do that." Yeah.
Ooh, I'm like I've been recording audio for so long now
Oh,
that
so you're
I
not I
honestly
must
this took 1 take. This took 1 take.
What?
Yeah, but some days, it's like I gotta go to back to sleep and do it again tomorrow because it's not sounding how I want it to sound. Especially when I record it in the morning, it's a bit raspier. I feel like there's a bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
It's both raspy and light. So I think I recorded this in the morning, and I was like, okay, this is 1 take. This is a 1 take Jake on
Yeah,
this.
are you try like, is the morning your perfect time to record a voiceover? Because this is interesting to me. I hate my voice. I never record any voiceovers. So it's like, yeah. But for you, do you not now know it's like I gotta do the voiceover in the morning? I like is that a
Yeah,
perfect time?
it's I think like for me, voiceover in the morning, like I'll have a beverage, so it's not like Kermit the Frog, but
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Like too raspy. Yeah.
I'll have a beverage. It's typically in the morning. I think that's
That's so
it's the
cool. That's
best time.
interesting. I love that. Okay. Well, now that we know this is one take, it's gonna be sick.
I was waiting for something extraordinary to happen. But as years wasted on, nothing ever did, unless I caused it.
Reincarnated with love. My Gemini twin back powering up, no more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us, everybody must be judged. But this time God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth. The headache can speak with a vigilant tongue. The predicate this time is fuck you. I'm carrying heavier hearts right now, I can power live for the Olympians too. I'm carrying various darts right now, I deserve this bitch like tiramisu.
Every year, without fail, I learn you can't force a lesson or rush a revelation. It takes seconds to read or hear something profound, but it takes a lifetime of grappling with an idea or philosophy to fully understand it. Last year tested my convictions, my patience, and my ability to accept and let go. I tried to narrow it down to 4 lessons for you. Create more than you consume, create more than you criticize, create more than you compare. I've admittedly multiple times sat in front of an empty fireplace and demanded heat. I've watched other people's shiny lives through screens. I've seen something working for someone and wondered why it wasn't working for me. I've projected, I've generalized, assumed. I've fed my fireplace with critiques and comparisons and pressed my palms together praying for a spark. Which is, of course, not how it works. All the extraordinary and serendipity you seek exists in the doing. And when you begin to use your gifts to serve others, you'll feel all the warmth your life has to offer. It's been done before, but not by you. I spent 3 days with some of the most talented people on the internet. Composers, illustrators, painters, writers, filmmakers, musicians. I'd never been in the same room with that many artists in my adult life. The last evening, we were split into teams of 3 to 4 and tasked with creating a short film in less than 12 hours, with a surprise 20K on the line. I was put on the only all-women's team with the talented Amanda, Lynn, and Tiffany. And while Amanda and Tiffany were animating, Lynn and I took a gondola to the top of a mountain to shoot the last scene of our short. When we reached the top, 2 drones hovered above us, every team's full arsenal of equipment being utilized. We could have easily become overwhelmed, intimidated. There was a 100% likelihood that everyone's film would be amazing. And in those times, I remember that it's been done before, but not by you, not by me. There's something special about how you do things, how you say them, how you put them together. It's a reminder to not compromise your vision. By the end of the night, we ended up taking home a surprise 2nd place. Filled with a lot of red. So I think it's cool that it's an all-girl team. So I'm really proud of all you guys. I'm shaking. We need each other. If you desire community, it's something you can create. If it's not something you look to create, it is something you can become an active participant in. Growing the craft and release community with my co-founder Glenn has been one of the greatest joys of my life and also my time in New York. I would have never met the incredible people that come to our events or workshops or co-working sessions if we didn't take the risk and invite people in. I can feel it with every exchange, every embrace, every story shared. We need each other now more than ever. Remember to service your soul. Keep the appointments with yourself. The 3 longhand pages in the morning, the walk to help you reflect, the 1 deep breath. Pay attention to the things that move you and the people that move you. Spend time with those people, those things. Give yourself permission to adventure, to dream, to wander, to create. Return to the well of yourself and begin again as many times as you need.
How much do you like document versus actually produce, or like engineer some of the shots? Because I noticed that a lot, where it feels like a look into your life, and it feels very real because it feels like it's not moments that were meant to be produced. It's like I'm just kind of capturing it, and then now that I know that you write everything first, it's are you just like in a drive and like looking for like these moments?
Yes, exactly that. Kind of exactly that. Like I'm like, this is my husband who's leaning back, and then my 2 brothers to the left. So it's like we were out to breakfast, and they're just whenever they're together, they're
It's
just
chaos. It's like you're
yeah,
like,
it's
oh my god, like
chaos,
kids,
it's
yeah.
laughs, it's loud. Like I just pull out my camera and record them. Um, but yeah, a lot of these are I think when it's moments with family and friends and stuff like that, I just feel like I'm always the one they know. Like, I'm always the one that just, like, pulls out the camera, but I'm not like, "Action, now left." Like,
Yeah,
like, it's not
yeah.
like a planned
Obnoxiously
thing.
in their face and like, "Hey, can you come back through that door real quick?"
Yeah, yeah, I think that's why it feels and it's really reassuring to hear you say that it feels like a peek
Yeah,
into
like a lot of these, a lot of
yes,
these.
yeah.
It's just like I don't know how the feeling I get is so hard to explain, but it almost feels like like a home video almost, like
Mm.
memories. I
Yeah, which
love,
I
and then
loved.
yeah, yeah.
I loved watching old movies and video and, like, where are the home videos? I heard somebody say that the other day of, like, what are the home videos gonna look like now? You know, are we making them? Are we collecting them? Are they, um, how are they being compiled in the same way? And I think there was something beautiful about our parents and relatives. This was going nowhere. Like, they weren't recording it for it to be publicized in any way, shape, or form, so
No, and it felt so natural, and I find that too now is if I record family stuff, they automatically think it's going somewhere or that people are gonna see
ooh.
it. So they don't act like themselves, and I get it. It's like if someone puts a can, you're like, is this going somewhere? Do I have to like put on this front a little bit, as opposed to just feeling like those home videos where like I could be as goofy and as ridiculous because I know no one's really gonna see it. Sometimes you don't even watch it back until years later.
No. How do you
So
combat that? Do you feel like you're like, "Act natural," or do you feel like, because of your growing following online that folks assume that it's gonna
yeah,
get
the thing is like I started like I found this old camera
Oh,
and my old mini DV tape. So I've been recording. Me and my brother have been recording from time. So like, I actually bought maybe like 8 tapes, 60-minute tapes. And I told myself all this year, I'm not the only content I'm actually creating or like capturing is from here.
yeah,
I
I love that.
it's not even going. I'm not even gonna look at the tapes for however long. So
Ah,
now when could go to family parties, it's not this DSLR where now they think
mm,
it's having this and the giving to them like, hey, you record. It almost gives them a sense of like permission to be like, oh, I could record. If Kev's gonna be this stupid on camera, it's like I could be this stupid on
I
camera,
love
and
that.
it feels like that. I think that's the thing I miss. And when you talk about you create stuff that you miss that's super authentic, I miss that feeling. Like, how can I get
Mhm.
that back at this age? Where like
Yes,
um,
yes.
yeah. So that's how I'm like fighting that. I don't even use my phone. It's literally just that camera, and it's like I don't even know if I could capture it on like how am I gonna put it on digital? Like
Right, you'll worry about that later, like, I
exactly.
love
I'll
that.
worry about that later, and that's the vibe. So this lens, I see this a lot. What lens is this?
This is 11 millimeter, I think, Sony,
Yeah.
lens, and I put it on my FX3, and it gives it this, like,
The
crazy like,
yeah, I
crazy
love it.
effect that I like, you know?
Yeah, on the edges, you could see it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, man.
silly. It's like a silly lens, that I
Ye
like throwing on.
I love that, and that's why I use the fisheye for, like, my reaction like, on the thing, because I look stupid. I love looking
Right.
stupid. Yeah, it's like, I'm not too serious, and it gives me this, like, old school '90s, hip hop music video vibes.
Yes, very Busta Rhymes. Very, like
Busta, Little Missy, you know what
yes,
I mean? It just like
yes.
this. I love that. I love that about it. Yeah, I wanted to ask about this. This has been absolutely amazing.
This has been
Um,
my favorite interview I've ever done, 'cause
come on now. You
I'm
don't gotta.
serious,
Come
I'm
on
serious. It's
now.
been the best
Come
interview I've
on
ever
now.
done, and the most fun, truly.
If you guys enjoyed this video with Nneka, you guys can watch my video breakdown of her video right over here.